Oh yes, we're gonna draw the books from this mystery box. What up, fiction fan? Welcome to Down to Read. My name is Steven, and on this video today, we're going to go over books that are on my to be read list, or TBR. Now, the way we're going to select the books I'm going to read from my TBR is going to use some top-notch production value. Today, we're going to select books all from the TBR that I've prepared. However, for future videos, we're going to be looking to select books recommended by you. More details on how that's going to work later in the video. Also, when we do get to the selection part, if the book you wanted to see me review isn't selected, don't fret. The books that aren't selected will still stay in the TBR pool and be eligible for selection next time we do a TBR video. Alright, that's enough of the intro. Let's get to the good stuff. The books. Number 1. A Man Called Ove by Frederick Bachman. I'm going to be honest with you. I picked this book to have a lighthearted book on the TBR after the first half of my year has had some pretty bleak reads. Now, Frederick Bachman, from the interviews I've seen, is a pretty interesting cat. And this book must be okay, because I know it's been made into at least 2 movies, one of which was starring Tom Hanks.
Get in the box. Get in the box.
Ove is a grumpy old man who's not too keen on his fellow people. However, his perspective changes a bit when a quirky, fairly lively family move next door.
Oh, can I help you with that, sir?
You think I don't know how to cut rope?
Number 2. The Gone World by Tom Swederlich. Or I think that's how you pronounce his name. Apologies, Tom, if it's not. There it is. Getting a bit dark again already. I can't stay away from the darkness, I guess. So I don't know what that says about me. This book is a sci-fi thriller where a member of the Naval Criminal Investigative Service, Shannon Moss, is trying to solve a murder and a missing person case. However, this ain't no normal case. This case has links to mental trauma triggered by time travel. Which, although I understand the atmosphere of this book is pretty moody, maybe a bit dark, sounds like a pretty fun read to me. We'll see, if it comes up. Number 3, Stormfront by Jim Butcher. This is book 1 of 17 of the Dresden Files. So if I like this bad boy, there's a good healthy pool for me to dive right into. The Dresden Files follows Chicago's only wizard detective, Harry Dresden, as he investigates supernatural related cases. In his first book, Harry's engaged by police to solve a double murder, a fairly grisly double murder that was committed using black magic. This book is often related to Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and people that love that show seem to love the series.
You know very well you eat this late. You're gonna get heartburn.
I never really saw much of Buffy, wasn't my thing, but you know, it's popular, I'll give it a try. Also, this book here I managed to pick up for $5 at one of the community book sheds around town, so go support your community book sheds. Oh, and on a bit of a book shed tangent, we were thinking maybe we might do some on-location videos of book hunts at book sheds. Let us know if that's something you'd like to see in the comments. Number 4, Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Now, when I first started getting back into reading after 25 years, kind of, more clarification on that in other videos, and I was looking at BookTube for things to read, things to inspire me, the algorithm was full of people holding this book and shoving it at me saying, hey, read this book. So here I am saying, hey, well, maybe read this book. I haven't read it yet, but I'm gonna. Red Rising is the first book in the Red Rising series that involves a class system with the Reds at the bottom and the Golds at the top. The main character, Darrow, is a Red who is a miner on Mars, and he believes that mining the precious materials that him and his fellow Reds are mining will help make the surface of Mars inhabitable once again, really doing the greater good. However, as it turns out, these cheeky bloody Golds have been living on the surface of the Mars the whole time. When Darrow finds out, he ain't having it. A lot of people say there's parallels between Darrow in Red Rising and Viz in Will of the Many, as well as other parallels with class systems and attending schools or academies. So yeah, if this is anything like Will of the Many, and if you've seen my Will of the Many review, yeah, I think I'm gonna like this one. Number 5, Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. As you can see from the front cover, this one won the Polari Prize in 2023, which is awarded to books that explore the LGBTQ+ experience. The main characters in this book are Miri and Leah. Leah goes away on a deep-sea expedition and is away for months, and things don't go quite to plan on this deep-sea journey of hers. When Leah returns, Miri notices that Leah's changed somehow. She's not the person she was when she left on the deep sea journey. And Miri's worried that she'll never get back the person that she loves. Sounds a bit like a good indie, art house, horror type book. So yeah, keen to read this one. Number 6. Only Ford by Michael Marshall Smith. This is a sci-fi fantasy novel that's been, to be honest, floating around my house for years. I'm not sure who gave it to me or where I got it, but I think it's about time we give it a read. Stark lives in a cyberpunk-esque city called The City, which has very distinct and strange neighborhoods, such as one called Sound, where for most of the day, you're not able to make a peep. You gotta shh, you know? Except for 1 hour where you can scream your bloody lungs out. Stark works as a private investigator or fixer that fixes things when something happens to someone. I don't actually know much more about this book. Apparently it has some pretty sharp changes in tones from the start to the end of the book. So that's interesting to me, and generally this is probably the book I'm most intrigued about on the list. Also, it's about bloody time I read it. I've had this thing for years. Number 7, the last book on my TBR at the moment is The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington. Okay. You knew after my Will of the Many review, I had to get some more James Izzy back on the old TBR, and voila. The Shadow of What Was Lost is book 1 in the Licinius trilogy. This is set in a world where there was a recent great war about 20 years before the time period of this book, where this powerful group of people or society called the Ogres were overthrown, and all known Ogres were executed. Now 20 years later, the world is recovering from the outcomes of this war. Magic users who draw on their essence, which is like their mana or their life force, have been put on strict orders by the victorious party to limit their magic abilities. The protagonist Davian attends a school for the gifted where he learns to use his essence, and while he's learning to use this magical ability, he finds out that he is actually an ogre. Alright, that's the 7 books of my TBR. Now let's get into the absolutely epic way that we're going to select the next 3 books that I am going to read. Oh yes. We're going to draw the books from this mystery box.
Mystery Box.
Book number 1 will be A Man Called Ove. Nice light one to start it off. That'll be good. That'll be nice, fresh, especially after reading Between Two Fires.
A few moments later.
Book number 2 will be The Gone World. Okay, I think those were book number 1 and 2 that I read in order. This is seeming a bit rigged, but I promise you it ain't. And if it was, what you gonna do about it?
We don't know.
This is just funny coincidence, I guess. If this next book is Stormfront, okay, maybe something's up.
One eternity later.
Book number 3. Okay. Not Stormfront, so not completely rigged maybe. Red Rising. Red Rising will be the 3rd book I'm going to read. So the next books I will read this year will be A Man Called Ove, then The Gone World, and finally Red Rising. I'm going to be one of those guys in the video that can hold that book up and say, read Red Rising. Or not. I don't know what I'm going to think of it.
Read Red Rising.
Now you're probably thinking, that's great and all, mate, but you said we get to choose some books, and you haven't explained how we can do that yet. Well, have I got something for you. A second mystery box. That's right, another mystery box.
What's in this box?
The box.
So if you recommend a book in the comment section of this video or in subsequent TBRs, I'm going to take that recommendation and put it in the separate but equally impressive fiction fan mystery box, and then I'll take pulls from that and do a review on the selected book. And maybe I'll think it's a 5-star banger status, which means I'll do a 5-star bonus book wrap up. Thanks for watching. Shoosh.